High water levels continue to be an issue in and around Toronto, especially after last night's heavy rainfall. And despite today's sunny weather, flooding along the harbour front put a damper on what would have been a perfect day by the beach. Beautiful weather by the water, but this is as close as sunbathers could get to the sand today. Only the birds were enjoying the boardwalk at H2O Park, with much of it submerged underwater.
Whether it's H2O Park, whether it's the Toronto Islands, whether it's the beaches, the lake levels are at a record level. They've never been this high, not just obviously here in Toronto, but the entire Lake Ontario shoreline, and in fact Lake Erie and all the Great Lakes.
Over a week ago, Toronto surpassed record flooding levels from 2017. And on Friday, the Toronto Region and Conservation Authority reissued a hazardous shoreline warning.
It's to stress public safety while the water is very high, and just to stay away from those areas with flooding and erosion.
The waters have since receded some, but events like last night's heavy rainfall has slowed down the process. The TRCA says they expect the warning to stay in effect until the end of July.
It's a slow process. It took so long for the water to rise. As you know, it started in April and it really didn't peak until June.
Yes.
Even with the significant outflows that we're seeing at the Moses to understand, it still only goes down, a very little bit each week.
Places like Toronto's Inner Harbour have been hit the hardest. The TRCA says it's about 20 centimeters higher here than other areas, and that's because of how close the Toronto Islands are to the mainland.
We see that the water level is very high, but it's also acting quite like a bathtub, if you will. So the waves are sloshing from both sides.
The City of Toronto says they have measures in place to address low-lying areas, but more rain makes the task more difficult, and they know the problem is bigger than just this city.
We have pumping systems in place in those areas where we know we get localized flooding. It takes longer to clear that water from those areas after a heavy rain event. So the question becomes, well, what do you do about it over the long haul? And really what we're talking about now is climate change generally.
Now, the city says they have pumps working to clear out ponding at Ashbridges Bay as well. They're hoping the area will be ready in time for Canada Day.